So you've probably been hearing about Idaho a lot lately. The Wall Street Journal just listed Idaho as still being in the top 10 hottest housing markets in the country. But today we're going to talk about why people are leaving Idaho and the top reasons they're choosing to call it quits. Stick around. Hey everyone, my name is Trent and I'm a realtor here in Idaho. If you're interested in knowing more about what it's like eating, sleeping, working, playing, and buying real estate here in Idaho, then this is the channel for you. Make sure you subscribe and hit that little bell so every time I come out with a new video, you get notified. Now guys, if you have questions about what it's like living in Idaho or how to get moved here, you have got to reach out to me at my phone number, email listed below. You can text me, you can call me. Smoke signals, it doesn't matter. I talk to people every single day that have some basic questions, some very in-depth questions, and I absolutely love it. So if you do want to talk to me, make sure you reach out. So guys, today we're going to talk about why people are choosing to leave Idaho and the top reasons they choose to call it quits. It's just my opinion, but I think the reason people end up leaving is because of their expectations. A lot of people move to Idaho thinking they're leaving their old life behind and it's gonna look more like a vacation or a camping trip living here in Idaho. But just like everything, the new car smell does wear off and life does happen. So I wanna make sure that your guys' expectations are set correctly and you are gonna have the best chance of making it here in Idaho if you do choose to move here. The first expectation that people have that's very, very off because they haven't had to do it in a long time is getting to Idaho, meeting new people, and making new friends. A lot of people, they're moving from places that they've been for 10, 20, even 30 years. They have their community, they have their group of friends, and believe it or not, it doesn't come naturally the older you get. It's not like being young. It takes effort to meet new people and make new friends. And so people who move here thinking, or not even planning on how they're going to make new friends and meet new people, they end up getting pretty lonely and feel like, man, Idaho just isn't the place for them. So my suggestion is first get on Facebook and look at some of the groups that are here in Idaho. If you're a mountain biker or you like shooting guns or you like hiking or paddleboarding or even just flying kites or RC planes, there's groups for almost everything. So that's one thing that you know you're gonna have in common with people, and it's really easy to go out, start meeting people, invite them out to lunch or coffee, get to know them. That's one really great way of making new friends. A lot of times people who are involved in church or volunteering are good-hearted people and they wanna help you. So even if it's not a good connection with them, they can at least get you plugged into other groups and introduce you to new people to help you get connected in the community. Now, of course, living in the day and age we do, there's an app for that. So if you really don't want to try to put yourself out there going to a church, volunteering, or going to a group that you found on Facebook, you can put yourself on an app such as Nextdoor, Meetup, or Bumble, which is actually how I met my wife. But there is a friend mode in there. So you can say that, hey, I'm not looking to date anybody, just trying to find a friend. They do have that option. So that's a really safe, easy option to be able to talk to people before you meet up. And that's another good way of getting connected in the community. But I cannot stress it enough. Don't just come here expecting people to just walk up and introduce themselves and be your friend. It's not how that works, especially as adults if you haven't had to do this in a while. So join the groups, get on apps, or go and volunteer or check out a church. The next major reason people are choosing to call it quits here in Idaho is the rising home costs. A lot of people are correlating the rising home costs and the growth to what happened to them in Seattle, Portland, or LA, or a major city. But what they don't understand is the rising home costs and the population growth is happening throughout the country. I've talked about it before. There are massive financial investment firms that control trillions of dollars, and they are now in the real estate game, and they're driving up the costs for everyone. So even though I understand for people who left LA because they thought it was too busy and now they think that Coeur d'Alene or Boise or Twin Falls or Idaho Falls is gonna end up being the same way, it's not necessarily true. And in my personal opinion, LA, Portland, Seattle, these used to be wonderful cities back in the day. But what I think happened is people abdicated their civic responsibility to be involved in local government, and that's what caused them to become what they are today, where a lot of people want to leave. But if you come here and you talk to people, that is not what's happening now. People are getting more and more involved in local government because they don't want to see that happening. So yeah, the rising home cost does make it difficult, and the population growth is going to change the area a little bit, but is it going to become an LA, Seattle, or Portland? I don't think so. Again, people are involved with the decisions that are happening here. There are a lot of locals that are keeping an eye on what's going on, and they're going to try their hardest and do their best to keep it just like it is. Another reason people are choosing to call it quits is the rising home cost does make it kind of difficult to live here if you don't have any special degrees, training, or experience in a high-paying job. If you're coming here with basic skills, you're only going to make the basic money, and right now, that's not enough to cover what it costs to live here. The truth is, there's a ton of opportunity to make really good money here in Idaho if you're just willing to put in a little effort, be a little bit creative, and take a little bit of risk. I'm talking about starting your own business. There are several industries that I have called on to try to get somebody to come out to my house, and they're booked out 3 weeks, 4 weeks, 2 months. So I know that there's opportunity for somebody to start a business in these areas. And the 4 areas I recommend right now to look into is landscaping, house cleaning, childcare, and handyman services. All of these businesses in this area are booked out weeks and months. So if you are wanting to move to Idaho and you don't have any special skills, look at maybe starting a business. I'm telling you, go online. There's people who have YouTube channels on just this stuff. It's not that hard. I'll even introduce you to my tax guy that can help you get set up super quickly, easily, and affordably. So just reach out. And don't get me wrong, there are a ton of jobs here in Idaho, but most of them are not going to pay enough to be able to afford rent or your mortgage, raise a family, and enjoy your life here. But if you are interested in starting a business, Idaho is a really great place to do it. Now, something that people love to do is romanticize the 4 seasons that we have here in Idaho. They think, oh, I can get used to the cold weather and I'll hire someone to clear my driveway and I'll learn to drive in the snow. While all of that is true, you're not taking into consideration the mental toll winter can take on you. A lot of people try to just stay indoors and wait out the winter. That is a horrible plan. It does not work, and that's why a lot of people are choosing to leave. You have to have activities that you do during the winter, or you'll develop cabin fever and seasonal affective disorder. You can get into a real funk with depression, and it's hard to climb out of that. So for me, I go to the gym, I work out, I sometimes hit the tanning bed. I know that sounds a little bit metro, but it's something that I got to do to stay positive. And I also like to go snowboarding and snowmobiling. Having activities during the winter, you can have a lot of fun if you do it right, but you gotta do it to make sure that your mental health stays positive. Otherwise, you're gonna end up leaving this place. Another major reason people end up leaving is because they didn't do their research and they did not talk with the right realtor, and they ended up in the wrong place. A lot of people love to fantasize about what it's like living way out in the middle of nowhere in your cabin, raising your own food, no neighbors for miles. But the truth is if you've never done that and you don't know what to expect, you might find yourself, after the new car smell wears off, you might find yourself realizing how lonely and isolated it can feel living out there, especially if you're not working and you don't have any social groups. It's really easy to find yourself becoming kind of a hermit and antisocial when you live out there if you don't have good social groups. Friends come out to visit you. It's not all it's cracked up to be. Everything has a trade-off. Now, I'm not gonna knock it. For some people, that's a perfect lifestyle. But I know for me, even though I like to be more introverted at times, I wouldn't like that lifestyle. Same goes for people who think they wanna live downtown because we're a smaller town and they think, oh, I want that small downtown lifestyle, and they don't realize how many events take place in the summertime. We've got farmers market, we've got Car to Lane, we've got fireworks during 4th of July. There's all kinds of stuff that happens, and downtown can get pretty crazy sometimes. So make sure that you work with the right realtor and you do all of the research to really know what the best place for you to live in Idaho is gonna be. Now, the last major reason people are choosing to call it quits and leave Idaho is because if they moved here 3, 5, 10, 15 years ago, Idaho used to cost a lot less to live here. You didn't have to call ahead to make reservations. The roads weren't as busy. And so people came here thinking, I've found my oasis. It's never gonna change because I'm one of the last people to move here and no one else is coming after me. I don't know why people think that. Everything changes, everything grows, it expands, it contracts. That's just life. So they get really focused on the fact that it's busier on the roads and they can't just walk into their favorite restaurant, and the costs of living are going up, and they decide, you know what, I've had it, I'm leaving.
That's it, we're moving. What? I will not tolerate infestation.
I don't know where they're going. I don't know where you can go right now that is this beautiful, this free, and doesn't cost more, but a lot of people are deciding they've had enough. Honestly, all it takes is just some adjusting of your habits, maybe leaving work a little earlier or a little later, taking a different route home to avoid some of the traffic, calling ahead to your favorite restaurant so that you can walk in on Friday night and not have to wait 45 minutes for a table. It's not major inconveniences, but we've been spoiled here in Idaho for a very long time, and some people just don't want to adapt. They think that the place is ruined. They're just looking for their perfect small little town that'll never grow, and unfortunately, I don't know if they're gonna find it. I think everything's changing. Our world's changing. Technology is making the world a lot smaller, so we're all just gonna have to learn how to deal with it, and at the end of the day, you just have to decide what you're willing to put up with and what you're not. So that's it, guys. Why people are leaving Idaho and the top reasons they're choosing to call it quits. If you like this video, give me a thumbs up. Let me know in the comments if you could deal with some of these reasons that people are choosing to leave or not. If that takes Idaho off your list, I want to hear about it. Thank you so much for watching this video. And if you are serious about moving to Idaho, make sure you reach out with a phone call, text, or email. Day, nights, weekends, it does not matter. And until the next video, guys, I'll see you later.